I'm good. My name is A. Catherine Noon, and I have with me author Tina Holland. I'd like to welcome you to Author TV and our experiences live at the Rio with author Tina Holland. So, Tina, what do you like to write? And tell us a little bit about yourself.
I write in a genre called erotic romance, and within that genre, I write both contemporary. I have a cowboy series out, and then I also write paranormal, and I have a post-apocalyptic series as well as a fairy series that's relatively new. So those are the two things that I write.
Excellent. And I understand you're making a foray maybe in the future into some steampunk. What's that about?
Yep. So steampunk tends to take place during the Victorian period, and it's called steampunk because of the steam elements, and it has a lot of gadgets and science and stuff like that. So that's sort of the genre that it falls into. If you were going to reference a movie for that, it would be something like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen or Van Helsing, that kind of feel.
Excellent. Sounds fun. I look forward to seeing that. So I understand this isn't your first RT Booklovers Convention. What keeps you coming back? What do you like about it?
So you're correct, it's not. I've gone to quite a few. One of the things I like is sometimes I like to go to whatever city we're in. And this one's in Las Vegas. I haven't been to Las Vegas for a few years, so I thought it would be a good time to come and see the city again. So that's one reason I'll go, is depending on where they're holding it, because it does travel around the country. The other thing that I like is there's a lot of, you get to see other authors that maybe you haven't seen for a while. Your publishers will be here, and you get to meet readers, which is one of the big reasons that writers come, is to meet their readers and their fans. So those are it's a combination of all those things, really.
Excellent. That sounds like fun. Well, I understand they've got a really full program this year. What kinds of classes and events look fun to you?
Oh, there's some reader stuff that looks really great this year. There's a lot of publisher spotlights, and with my steampunk novel that I'm working on, I'm kind of looking at different publishers. So, because it's going to be longer than most of my normal work, so I'm going to do a lot of the publisher spotlights that they're doing. And then I'm looking mostly for myself at businessing, marketing classes, those types of things. So just kind of, and a few craft classes, but mostly looking at business marketing. And also the other thing is the self-publishing has kind of blown up in the last few years at this particular conference. So I'm looking to do some of that stuff to just investigate what that looks like. I don't see self-publishing in my near future, but I would like to understand more about it, because there are, at a meeting this morning, it sounds like hybrid authors are becoming much more common, where you have traditional, digital, and then you also have self-publishing. So, go ahead.
You mentioned craft workshops. What are those?
So there's craft workshops on steampunk, for example, like if you're writing in that, how to torture your hero, and those sorts of things. So stuff like that around craft, and it gets really into like things like plotting. There's classes on plotting, on pantsing, how to make that work, how to really be a better writer. So when they talk about craft, they're looking at how to become a better writer. Today, I didn't go to it, but today for the fans, they actually had a scrapbooking class, which would be an entirely different craft. But yeah, so when writers talk about craft, we're really talking about how to write better, how to improve things, and that can be everything from plot to words to, it just covers a broad gambit.
Gotcha. And you used a term in there, pantsing, as opposed to plotting. What does that mean?
So plotting is like when you draw out an outline, and a pantser is a person who really just gets down and writes either, with a pen and pencil and just lets it flow out of them. So it might be one scene, it might be a whole book, it might be a start of a book, and then so it's really, Sylvia Day gave the workshop this morning on like how to get the best out of RT for a writer, and one of the things she talked about is picking out pieces of pantsing, plotting, and whatever pieces in those craft workshops work best for you.
Excellent. Now, you mentioned that there are fan events. What do you see coming up that sounds fun for fans?
So there's a lot of meet and greets within classrooms. Like if you're reading like historical romances, there may be a reader class where you can meet a panel of historical romance writers or paranormal romance writers. So there's a lot of those types of things going on. And then in the evenings, and I'll be attending some of these as well, there's a bunch of parties. So there's opportunities to dress up like your favorite character, movies, television, books, whatever you like. There's opportunities for that, and then dancing and socializing with other readers about whatever genres they like. So those can be quite exciting.
Excellent. Anything else you want to add for our viewers?
No, I'll be here all week though, so if anything comes up, please email us and I will answer your questions, or I will, see if we can find somebody on the ground and talk to them.
Excellent. Well, I will invite you, the viewer, to post any comments that you have either here on Google Hangouts or on the blog if you came to us through the YouTube archive video on the Romance Studio. Please ask any questions that you'd like me to pose to Chrissy, to Tina. And on Thursday, so Thursday, April 14th, one day before Tax Day, 7 p.m. Central Time, 5 p.m. local Las Vegas time, we will be doing a second broadcast, and we'll be able to see how the convention is going and what interesting things Tina has found and learned and that she wants to share with us. On a personal note, I would like to invite any of you that are at the convention to visit the Nice Girls Writing Naughty Party tomorrow, which is Wednesday, April 13th at 2:30 p.m. We're hosting the Very Merry Party, and there will be contests and games and all sorts of naughty fun. So, Tina, I want to say thank you very much for coming and seeing me tonight and to interacting with our viewers. Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely. All right, until next time, this is A. Catherine Noon with Tina Holland live at the Rio.